Oh, hello, Spirit House here. I just wanted to share a little bit more about the darker side for a little bit of fun um, of that trip for my last video to Gearhart to clean out my aunt's condo after she passed away. Um, Basically, her husband had died there. My uncle had died there from a stroke in that condo, and she had had a stroke in that condo and had been medevaced into Portland, Oregon from Gearhart to um, get treatment. And then she moved in with us in Northern California. She came to us. And until she passed away, we took care of her. But basically, her daughter had had a lot of alcohol problems in her life from a pretty young age, and there'd been a lot of bad stuff. So she moved away from Gearhart, her condo, which she lived in with her husband at first, which was right on the beach on the Pacific Ocean. And she took care of him after his first stroke, which took place in Alaska. And then he had another stroke in Gearhart, which led to his death, and he was medevaced into Portland as well. Then she had a stroke a few years later at that same condo, and she was medevaced into Portland, and we had her flown here. We flew her here to Northern California, and we took care of her, until she passed away. Her daughter, though, my cousin, was a very tragic alcoholic. I mean, it was like really bad. And she'd been kind of abusive to her parents and people. Like, she was a monster when she got drunk. And so it really stressed them out a lot and stuff. But they were also drinkers, and, they didn't eat well. I mean, they ate a lot of beef and, stuff like my uncle. I loved them. I really did, but my uncle, he ate a lot of like beef and really fatty foods, and it clogged both of his carotid arteries on his neck, and he had one surgery to clear out the I don't know what you call it. I can't think of the word right now. Although I do know medical language, I can't think of the word right now. But they cleared out his veins on the sides of his neck because he'd had one stroke already and lost eyesight in one of his eyes. And so he had another stroke in that condo, and he died there. Then my aunt had a stroke there, and she left there, but it was still open. So her daughter, my cousin, was using that condo occasionally, but she was letting her friends stay there and trash, kind of, not always trash it, but at first, okay, let me back up. At first, before she was able to use it, it was rented out. My aunt rented it out to a man, an elderly man who was wealthy, but he passed away, or he just disappeared actually, and we don't know if he passed away or not, but he was a little bit crazy. He wrote letters to her, a couple of letters that were just made no sense. And when my sister, who lived in Oregon at the time, or she lived in Portland, and she and my cousin went to clean it out at the time. And after he moved or disappeared or whatever, and the walls were all filled with soot, right? So they had to clean off all the walls, repaint it, all this stuff. So my cousin stepped up to the plate to help out my sister with that, you know, stuff. Because because it was my cousin's mother's place, and she was living with us, and we were taking care of her after her stroke. So, but the stove, it's unclear whether the oven had been broken at that time or not. But anyway, there was soot all over the walls that they had to clean up. So then, after that guy disappeared, the renter there disappeared, my cousin started letting a friend of hers called Paul, who we never met, who apparently was wealthy and worked from home from his laptop or something, and she let him stay there all the time, like for months on end, and until my aunt passed away. My sister would go use it from time to time, and one time she was like, my cousin let some friend of hers use it with a child, and there were dirty diapers everywhere and gross stuff, right? So my sister had to clean that up. And my cousin had relapsed on alcohol really badly at that point. So my sister was like trying to watch out for it because she was there in that state in Oregon. So, okay, so after, like, track back to after, like I said in my last video, after my aunt passed away, my cousin, we asked her, we talked to her. She was there when she passed away. She was here when she passed away, actually, here, where we were taking care of her. And the reaction to her death, I mean, everyone reacts. I'm not judging to deaths differently. Everyone grieves differently, but there were no tears. And after she got on the plane, she went home, and we asked if she would write her obituary, right? And if she wanted to clean out the condo, which was in Gerhardt, Oregon, where Sherry lived, but we, had been rented out, and all this stuff had happened in the meantime. She'd let her friends use it and all this stuff. So there was no response. So we decided to go there 2 weeks later after we hadn't heard anything and clear it out. And so I'd found all these weird journals in there, and about how she hated all of us, and we had treated her like one of our own. My mother treated her like her own child. It was her sister's child, and she had no family left at this point, and she treated her like her own child. And I found these journals which said that she couldn't stand us and all this stuff, and it was really horrible, right, when we were cleaning out this condo. And then, so we cleaned it all out. The property management company, after we put her stuff in storage for my cousin, we put everything in the storage for my cousin to collect later, and paid for it even for a couple months. So we cleaned out the whole place, and then we hired a actual cleaning lady from the property management company to come in and clean the whole place completely, like really deep clean it, to get it back on the market from the property management company. And after we got a call, after we got home back to Northern California, and here's one of the things. During this time we stayed there, I had really bad vibes. I'm very intuitive, very empathic, and really bad vibes from the place. And I didn't feel haunted for my uncle or anybody else. It was otherworldly type bad vibes. And I felt spirits there. And I went out one night after we'd got done cleaning or packing up stuff. It was a really arduous job. And there were literally marine spirits coming at me from the ocean, looking at me in the face, and swooping up over the roof of this place literally marine spirits. I could see them, and we were right on the ocean, right? And it was like, it was bad. I mean, it was just like, whoa. And I sat there and stood there and looked at them. There were probably 13 that came up to me, marine spirits. So I went back inside, went to bed, all this stuff. But I kept getting this bad feeling when I went into the front bathroom. Because that's the bathroom. My mother stayed in the master bedroom there, which had a bathroom attached to it. But I would go to the pool every day and swim in the community because, there was a condo association, there was a nice pool house, everything. It was very nice. So I would go and swim every day, and then I get back and I used the front bathroom. And every time I went in there, I would get this horrible feeling too. And so after we left, the cleaning lady that we hired through the condo association called us and told us that she had found up underneath the basin, like underneath, how you look under the vanity of a bathroom, under the basin. She said she looked up underneath it when she was cleaning and found 1.5 pounds of methamphetamine that was taped up there. And she called the authorities and all this stuff. And it was really freaky because I had such a bad feeling. And the weird thing is that the last day we were there, I spotted my cousin, Christy, who refused to come clean out the place. And a friend of hers, which I'm assuming is Paul, sitting in a car because we didn't let her know we were going there. We just decided to go there because she hadn't responded, and we just decided to go there, and then we turned in the keys and they changed the locks. And so the last day we were there, we spotted her sitting off to the side in a car with one of her friends who we'd never met, just staring at us and never said anything. And this was after we turned in the keys. And this is before we heard that there was 1.5 pounds of meth taped up under the sink in there. So it's just like, wow, So we got home and then 5 days later, probably, we heard from this cleaning lady and the property management company, and that the authorities have been called. And it's like, it was just bad vibes all around. And the thing is that if our lives could have been in danger, my elderly mother and mine, because that stuff was in there and we didn't even know it. And it's like, my cousin has since passed away, and it was like, it's sad. It was like 2 months ago, but I'll never really know if it was the first renter or her friend, or if she was involved in this or what. Intuitively, I know that she didn't like me at all, and a lot of weird stuff was going on, especially with her parents and stuff. I don't want to imply anything, and I'm sad that she's gone. I am. But it's like, she passed away 2 months ago, and just really weird stuff. Things that make you go, yeah. Anyway, so that's the creepy side of that whole experience. Really creepy. And also, my foot I became basically disabled while I was there. All of a sudden, overnight, the tendon from your ankle bone, the bone that sticks out on the outside of your ankle up to the top of your ankle, became disabled, and I could hardly walk after that night that I saw the marine spirits. And then, it was like I had to move on and still get home and all that stuff. But it's just really creepy. The whole experience was. Anyway, I thought that would be kind of a fun, creepy tale to tell you, but it's not really fun. It's kind of, Sad, but anyway, yeah. Bye.